because the top 10 starts with The Shrouds, which we happen to have up right now. The Shrouds, that was the David Cronenberg movie made sort of in the wake of his wife's death, about a funeral director who makes invents a gravestone where you can view your loved one's decomposing remains. Why anyone would want to do that is best left to David Cronenberg's mind. But of course, this being a Cronenberg movie, there is a conspiracy involved in this, as hackers take over the gravestones. And why would they do this? Who knows? You'll have to watch the movie to find out. And it gets weird at the end, too. Beyond that, he also has an AI assistant who is in the mode of his dead wife and who ends up maybe turning on him or perhaps misleading him, might not be able to be trusted, has lots of dreams about his dead wife, and may have a little infatuation with his dead wife's sister, played by Diane Kruger, who also plays the wife, so a dual role for her. It's a little bit better probably than other late Cronenberg movies. It was good enough to get to 10 on our consensus list. I think you did not see that one, Josh, right?
I
Or
did
Josh?
not. Looking at his oeuvre, looks like the latest film of his I've seen was Eastern Promises, though I barely remember it. And before that, Spider. So going back a couple decades.
Okay, that was number 10, but it tied with this one. Whoops, I can't get them both up at the same time as I would like to. This was She Loved Blossoms More. Giles, I believe you did see this one, didn't you? Or did you not?
Let me just drum up the 366. No, actually, I think I may. Yeah, I think I haven't.
You haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think I very nearly volunteered for it.
Okay, who did the review?
As Enar
Ina
Clark.
did the review. Okay. I believe, Giles, if you had seen this one, you probably would have voted for it and it would have ended up higher. It struck me as a somewhat Gilesy movie for some reason.
Well, as I say, I did. I know I very nearly put my name forward to check it out. So yeah, and having read Enar's review, does sound right up my street.
Can you do any pull quotes from Enar's review there?
Yeah, all right. So, oh, well, here's a good start to the Why Am I Joined the Apocrypha. Quote, hallucinating your dead mom as a talking vaginal flower, complete with glowing clitoris, might be a totally natural Oedipal response for a son still processing grief and loss. Bowen Hedgehog then makes a psychedelic drug from said flowers who can hold a seance with a transdimensional severed head to perfect his time travel experiments. Things get pretty weird. So,
It is a very weird movie, a very blatantly Oedipal movie. So it's about three Greek kids. They're adults, young adults in their 20s. Their mother has died, and they're trying to build a time machine to somehow bring her back to life. However, what happens instead is that this time machine seems to go not back in time or forward in time, but to some sort of other dimension that's quite surreal. And they're able to send things like they send a chicken through to this other dimension. Then a girlfriend of one of the three boys shows up and brings some psychedelic drugs, and they all get extremely high. And while high, they decide they want to smoke the flowers that are growing from their dead mother's grave, which gets them even higher. And then things start getting really weird when they go through the machine themselves. If you can see this image on screen,
Yeah.
there's the image of a woman whose head is kind of split open, and then inside there are these gold leaves and an eye in the middle. That appears in the movie and is very, very strange. It is a rather low budget movie from Greece. They do some of the effects are not, perhaps what you would hope for, but you gotta roll with it
Uh,
because the strangeness kind of takes over and carries it through.
and I really like the names of the three sons are Dummy, Japan, and Hedgehog. So that's
Yeah, that's their English translation, Dummy
ah,
Hedgehog. Um, Hedgehog is the main character. Dummy is the least intelligent of the three. I think he's the one, though, that is the psychedelic chemist,
uh,
more of a cook than a chemist. And Japan, I think, is more of the computer specialist,
hmm.
and Hedgehog is kind of the leader of the group and spearheads the project. They also have a mysterious financier played by Dominique Pignon, who has his own reasons for financing this time travel machine. And so it's a very, very good movie. I think that if Giles had seen it, it probably would have ended up placing higher on this top 10, but so it goes. At the number 8 composite position, based on quality and weirdness, we had Begonia, which we already discussed quite a bit in the previous segment. At number 7 in the composite list is Christopher Nolan Presents, a film by the Quay brothers, Sanatorium Under the Sign of the Hourglass. Now, neither Giles nor I saw this other than the clip that was released to YouTube. Enar and El Rob were able to see this in theaters, and based on their 2 ratings, it came in at number 7, which means they both rated it very highly to compensate for the 3 of us who didn't see it at all. I don't know, Giles, do you have any background or anything you can give folks about Sanatorium Under the Sign of the Hourglass since we haven't seen it?
I guess nothing in particular. I years ago I did review a whole bunch of
Mhm.
I think what was then all their extant short films, and from the clip that was played seems in keeping with that, and so I suspect that is also quite probably deserving a higher ranking, just a matter of availability working against it.
Yes. Should probably come out on VOD and physical media in 2026, I would predict. Um, this story is by Bruno Scholes, correct? Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, Street
And
of Crocodiles guy.
who also did Street of Crocodiles, and the Quay brothers also did an adaptation of his Street of Crocodiles. This is a stop motion animation mixed with some live actors that sort of is reminiscent of the feel of Street of Crocodiles, I would say. It's got that eerie, avant-garde, dissonant musical soundtrack, the stop motion, the puppets. Sanatorium Under the Sign of the Hourglass was also made into a canonically weird movie in the 70s by the Polish director Haas. It was a very straightforwardly surrealist about a guy wandering through this sanatorium where every room was like a different surreal vignette. Um, so that's Sanatorium Under the Sign of the Hourglass, the K Brothers, number 6. And the next movie, that's number 7. The next movie on the list, number 6, is kind of similar in a lot of ways to Sanatorium under the sign of the hourglass. This is Mr. K, presented here in this poster in a sort of as if it were a Soviet movie, which it is
Mhm.
not, um, but kind of has a little bit of that feel, I guess.
Yeah.
So Giles did not see this, so I will describe Mr. K a bit. Crispin Glover, of course, who doesn't really go very crazy in this. He's much more of a straight man, which is a bit unexpected, perhaps. He is a magician who checks into this hotel, a hotel where you can not only leave, but you can't even check out anytime you like because you can't find the way to the reception desk. And every time you see the woman that mans the reception desk, she manages to scurry away before you can find her. But once you enter and go into your room, you are in this labyrinth where everybody appears to have lived for many, many years, and they want you to work in the kitchen. Nobody is really focused on escaping. Everybody wants to live there forever, and just accepts this as normal reality, except for Crispin Glover's character, who is constantly seeking a way out. But there is a small sect who consider him to be the liberator. What that means is never fully explored, or never fully divulged, at least. I'd say it's explored quite a bit, but eventually Crispin Glover's character decides to break into the walls, and he finds something there that brings to mind H.P. Lovecraft. How's that?
Yeah. Yeah. I've certainly always happy to see Crispin Glover, and even as the normal guy, so to speak. Uh,
So to speak.
um, and this is one of those movies that I'll probably see sooner rather than later. I'm kind of intrigued by this poster image with the 18 plus notification on it. I can't imagine what what. Uh,
There's a little bit of sex, a little bit of bad language. It's not really, it would be an R rating in
okay.
US. Soft, kind of a soft R, but
Okay. Yeah.
it's not extremely, it's just more weird than anything.
Oh yeah, this yeah reminds me when Dark City was put before the MPAA, they were leaning towards R without being able to specify exactly why, other than one of them saying, "Oh, it's just so weird."
Yeah.
So okay, I can see that for
I
sure.
will say, let me add that Enoch Clark originally reviewed this movie, and his review was a bit mediocre, but based on his end of the year rankings, he has come around to like it better. He does, in his defense, say that he was misled with this movie. The title, Mr. K, and some information he read had led him to expect that this was an adaptation of Kafka and specifically The Trial, when
Mm,
it really is nothing of the sort. It has, a yeah, sort of a vague Kafkaesque feel to it, but it's much more in the vein of Alice in Wonderland
mm.
with a touch of H.P. Lovecraft. And I think once he came to a reckoning with that, he tended to like it better. So I think that even though it was not nominated as an apocryphally weird movie, we might upgrade it.
Mm, mm, cool.
But let's go to our number five movie on the consensus list. Mixing weirdness and quality. We come to this movie, which nearly everyone in our group, I think this might be one that everyone saw. No, I think one person missed it. But everyone who saw it rated it, gave it pretty good ratings. It's Boys Go to Jupiter. Giles, would you like to talk about this one?
Sure, yeah. This is done up in at least it reminded me very much of mid '90s VGA graphics kind of thing. So that's certainly 30 years after that was a thing was an odd throwback for someone who had grown up around different games that had these vibrant colors and sharply delineated tube semi-curved shapes. Um, the plot I have here is it's winter break in Florida, and teenage dropout Billy 5000 is gigging to get 5 grand, but instead finds a donut shaped alien creature. Billy 5000, of course, is the son of Mrs. 5000. She shows up very barely in a brief scene shouting out uh, from her trailer. But this has obviously the cosmic angle. It also has a hyper intelligent uh, dolphin thing heading a semi sinister corporation. Um, and it's a musical. And it's, obviously any number of voice actors for the different characters, but otherwise was pretty much a one-man band kind of situation in regards to writing it, storyboards, doing all the programming to make the graphics in question. And yeah, we had a fun chat, I remember, with the director, Julian Glander. So yeah, this is one of those, there's no good reason for this movie to exist. But thankfully it does. And it's, entertaining, has a little bit of heartwarming elements to it. It's funny. It's a real Bildungsroman kind of thing, and that boy growing up. So yeah, it's a delightful little oddity.
Yes. That's number 5, Boys Go to Jupiter. And our number 4 be, well, this was some movie, wasn't it?
It was. It sure was.
This is Baby Invasion. And it certainly was weird enough to score enough points to score as our number 4 movie of the year. I think some people even voted it as one of the best movies of the year. If you'd like, Giles, I'd like for you to take to describing this one for the viewers.
This one is set up I believe it's bookended by 2 very brief scenes of this woman talking about a program that she was involved in the creation of for some old kind of internet RPG style game that apparently was hijacked by various criminal elements for the purposes of streaming illegal shenanigans live. In the case of this, it's like this gang of thugs who are appallingly well armed take over this mansion. Their faces, however, are always obscured by these ever moving baby avatar faces, hence the title and the odd graphic here of a horned baby face emerging from a body of water. And it's just sort of goes on in a kind of real, other than the bookends, is the sort of real time broadcast of these people going around this mansion and stealing stuff and intimidating the inhabitants with a constant stream of user remarks showing up on screen. So I imagine it would probably take several views to truly read everything that's going on in here, because it's a very, very busy movie. And it's like, yeah, Harmony Korine in this is just he's made the movie he wanted to, and doesn't seem to be catering to anyone in particular, although apparently he touched the hearts of several 366 movie reviewers.
I think it's him experimenting in form, right, and experimenting with videos. But there is sort of more to me. Maybe it's my imagination. I'm imagining that Harmony Korine is mellowing over the age. There's more of a satirical take to it.
Oh, definitely.
In the sense that he's satirizing our obsession with screens and with game playing, and with the way that is distancing people from reality and getting rid of a lot of empathy. Whereas some of his movies before seemed to be just him doing a geek show for geek show's sake. He's doing a geek show that kind of seems to have a point about modern life and the way we live today. So
Yeah.
I think I was a little kinder to it than some of his other more geek showy movies.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, yes. I have limited exposure to other works, but there was a sympathy I could get for some of his objects of interest in previous films that made me a little hesitant to enjoy what was being, the very fact that even just recording them doing what they normally would be doing, I felt might be kind of bad. But yeah, I think in Baby Invasion, there's definitely some commentary going on. I have a line here. Um, I can only recommend this somewhat because of my degree of disorientation by the end, as metagame, meta life, and life became increasingly difficult to differentiate. The occasional shots of the gamer suggest none of this is real. The security camera suggests it is. And this muddling, I suspect, is Kareen's overarching goal.
Yeah, I think that is the point, right? That um, all these screens and things, the constant barrage, and our ability to manipulate them affect our views of reality, changing human psychology in real time.
Whee!
So yeah, it's an interesting film.
Yeah.
Definitely very experimental and successful, I'd say. So now we move on to our number three consensus movie. And Giles, you did not see this, correct?
I did not.
Because I think if you had, you would have voted it higher, and that this would score even higher than it has at number three. Um, it's from Matthew Rankin. You saw Matthew Rankin's previous movie, The 20th Century, correct? And like that.
Uh,
So this is from Matthew Rankin, who is a Winnipegger, and therefore in the legacy of a lot of weird directors. Winnipeg only sends us weird directors, and John Pays and the very famous Guy Madden. This is influenced. His first movie was influenced quite a bit by Guy Madden, to the point of even using some of Madden's favorite actors in his troupe. This one, there's still Madden influences, but he's finding his own voice a little more. So basically, what Universal Language is a movie done in the style of Iranian cinema and spoken entirely in Farsi. However, it is set in Winnipeg and even includes a Winnipeg tour guide and who visits famous sites in Winnipeg, which, of course, it being Winnipeg, aren't all that interesting, but they do tours anyway. Rankin himself plays the main role, and there are 2 to 4 major plot lines, and they are those intertwining plot lines where characters will see each other in their individual stories, and at the end they all come together into one satisfying narrative conclusion. It's very weird along the way, quite surreal. There is a scene with a Turkey beauty contest winner that features very heavily in this. But at the end, it does have some legitimate emotional appeal too. As you can see on this poster, somebody called it the best of Iranian cinema in absurdist Canadian comedy. So it is probably the best absurdist Iranian Canadian comedy that anyone has ever seen, I would dare say. Hard to beat. So that is Matthew Rankin's Universal Language, came in at number 3 on our consensus list. It was my number 2 of the best weird movies, and my number, 5 of the weirdest movies I saw this year. But the last two, the number one and number two movies in our composite best of our movies that we've already discussed. So we won't need to discuss them in detail. Let's just point out that our number two consensus best weird movie of 2025 was Catet and Forzy's Reflection in a Dead Diamond. And that leaves our number one to be, Giles, do you know what it's going to be?
Oh, I bet it's about a horse guy.
It is Kill the Jockey, a surreal, sexy, and beautifully shot and acted film. As
That is true.
um, Kill the Jockey, kind of a surprise for me. I think what happened with Kill the Jockey is you ended up rating it number one, Giles.
Yeah.
I think everybody else who saw it rated it, fairly high. And so therefore it was able to get the requisite composite number of votes. But I was surprised. I expected Begonia to do much better than it was. Begonia is probably the movie most people have seen. Then I was not surprised Reflection in a Dead Diamond. I thought maybe that if Begonia didn't win, Reflection in a Dead Diamond would. But it was Kill the Jockey.
I had that number two weird, and yeah, number one of overall top 10. So yeah, I guess I pulled that up a little bit there. But well, I mean, Begonia's done well and going to do well without our list help anyway. So maybe this will point more people toward the jockey movie that.
Right. There are a lot of movies that people haven't seen that now they can look forward to. I think Kill the Jockey is one that hopefully will get a bit of a boost. People should really look for Reflections in a Dead Diamond, I would think, and definitely Universal Language, which didn't do. It was released kind of at an awkward time. I thought that could have even been an Oscar, out there Oscar contender or other award ceremony contender, but it was released at the beginning of the year, and people tend to forget it. And it kind of overlapped 2 years, so it just got really forgotten.
Because I remember us talking about that one for a while now.
Yeah. Baby Invasion. People can always check out if you're that's for the younger folks.
Oh yeah, younger, and it's like perfect for streaming. That's like one movie that I don't think I ever want a physical release because of just the nature of the movie itself.
Boys Go to Jupiter is kind of a movie I think that almost anybody can enjoy. It's not, you don't have to worry about it being too weird.
It's really cute, which is in its favor. It's and I definitely say well within PG. Not sure if there's any official.
It's probably PG-13 type movie. It probably didn't get submitted to the MPAA, I wouldn't think, but maybe.
I would say that's unlikely, yeah.
But probably a PG-13 movie. Mr. K is sort of a legitimately surrealist movie, so you got to know what you're getting into. Even more so is Sanatorium, which we are hoping we will get to see. Begonia, already mentioned. Any weird movie lover has probably already seen that other than Giles. She Loved Blossoms More is one I would recommend for people to seek out. A little raw, a little, wouldn't say amateur. It's a very promising young Greek director, but the effects, I think, are very ambitious, and they don't quite have the budget to pull them off the way they should. There's some very affecting moments there. And The Shrouds, of course, if you love Cronenberg, The Shrouds is one you should check out. So we're going to wrap up 2025 with that, and we'll see you in 2026.